What's up guys, V here, and in today's video I want to show you how to install the Gamdias Chione P5 into your PC. And for this video I'm going to be installing this on an AM5 Ryzen CPU, but if you have an Intel CPU I'm going to show you the brackets for that as well, and the installation process will be very similar for Intel and AMD. Now, since every single CPU cooler is a little bit different, I'm not going to get into too much detail about the removal process of your CPU cooler, since I don't know exactly which cooler you guys have. Now, the only thing I can recommend is warm up your CPU a little bit before the removal process. You can run the PC 30 seconds or so to soften that old thermal paste so it'll pop right out. Sometimes you got to give it a little wiggle while you're pulling it out, and if it still doesn't go, make sure the screws are fully loosened up. Now, since I'm removing an old cooler, I have thermal paste to clean off, and we do have to clean that off. And the way I'm going to do this is 91% alcohol and some paper towels. Now, before I wet the paper towel, I like to give it a dry wipe first. Then take a bit of alcohol. You don't need a whole lot. You can spend a lot of time with like Q-tips and clean all that off if you want to, but the main surface area that you need to worry about is the front face of it. Now, one more tip for AMD users. If you're building your PC brand new, you're going to have these little brackets attached up top right here, and then you're going to have one at the bottom over here. And each of these brackets has 2 screws. You're going to want to remove all 4 screws. Take these out, grab a Ziploc bag and toss everything in along with the screws, and then keep them in case you ever need them for a future CPU cooler. Now, as you can see, I already removed the GPU just to make it a little easier and give me more access in here. All right, so the first step is you got to figure out where you're going to install your radiator. In this case, I'm going to install it on the top, something like that. I can also install it this way, or if I remove these fans right here, I can install it here. And the screws you're going to need to attach the radiator to the case are in this little bag that says screw kit. And just to make it a little easier to work, I'm going to go ahead and take this cover off. So on this case that I have here, you can actually remove this fan tray. You can screw the radiator in just like that, but outside of the case to make it easier for you. The other note is there's enough space here to put just the radiator, and then on the opposite side, on this side, you can place the fans. So that way the radiator is hidden in this compartment up here. I'm going to install this right up here. Now, sometimes in your case, you may not have enough screw holes to mount all of the screws to the radiator. The radiator, as you can see, is stable and it's going to stay in here perfectly fine. All right, now we got that fully installed into the case. Now what we have to do, bring these cables to the back. So we got that cable back here pulled to the back. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to installing this CPU block onto the CPU. We're going to have to get one of these brackets onto our CPU block. And the way you install these is very simple. You just place them in here until it snaps, just like that. So that's the AMD one, and then the Intel one is the same exact thing, and it snaps in. All right, now that we got that bracket on the CPU block, let's talk a little bit about the back plates and the various different screws that we have. So this back plate is for Intel 1150s, 1700, 1200, and 1800s sockets. These little tabs here, these blue things, they move up and down just like that, because for certain sockets, the screw hole spacing is different. You need to match it up to what your motherboard is, and then I'll show you where this goes in 1 second. Now for Intel 2000s, so I believe it's like 2011 and 2066 or something like that, I'm not sure, you're gonna need these standoff screws. You're not gonna need this backplate for those specific Intel sockets. For Intel 1700 socket, you're gonna need this bag that says Intel LGA 1700, and then for all other Intel, you're gonna need this bag of standoffs that just says Intel. And then for all sockets, including AMD, you're gonna need these little thumb screws right here. And then of course, for AMD, AM4, AM5, you're gonna need these standoff screws. Now, that being said, here is the backplate for AMD. Like I said, AMD motherboards come with their own backplate. AM4 motherboards don't have these little screws right here that are holding this in place. So this might just fall off. You can just put a piece of tape or hold it temporarily while you screw those brackets in place. Now for Intel, as promised, this is where the Intel backplate would go. So there would be 4 holes equally spaced. So go ahead and adjust those to the correct spacing. And then you would peel off these adhesive strips and then stick it on here just like that. Now, like I said, with AMD, you have your backplate, and that's what these 4 screw holes are from. With Intel, once you place that backplate back there, you're gonna have 4 equally spaced screws. That's when your designated standoff screws come into play. Now, as you can tell, it's not symmetrical on both sides. This side with this little non-threaded part goes into the backplate / motherboard. So just thread those in. Now, if you have the LGA 2011 or 2066 or whatever they are for Intel, instead of these going into a backplate, the CPU socket itself has its own little holes. So basically the same as this, just without a backplate. And now, as you can see, I got all 4 of mine installed. Now, at this point, take this as a reminder to peel this plastic protective film off of the CPU block. Now the next step is going to be to put thermal paste onto the CPU. Now they do include a little bit of thermal paste, and you can use this one or you can use your own. So right in the center of the CPU, you can just put like a pea-sized dot, about that much. And once you got that thermal paste in there, just line these up. And now you got to take these thumb screws right here and start threading these on here. So I threaded that just a little bit to hold that in place. And now since we started there, we want to go in an X pattern. Now we're going to start over here. We'll give it a few turns here. Then we'll go down here, give it a few turns here. Then we'll go here, a few turns here, a few turns here. And then we'll start over and we'll take a screwdriver this time. And again, a few turns. And the reason we do it like this is because you want equal pressure in all 4 corners, and that way the CPU block surface goes onto the CPU very nice and flat and straight, and you won't have any temperature issues that way. Now the next step is we're going to go into plugging in all of the cables. So the first cable we're going to focus on is the one coming off of the CPU block right here. So this cable is going to plug in up here. So as you can see there, I have a CPU fan header. Right up here, I have a pump fan header. And then right next to it, I have a system fan header. So with this cable here, this one, we have a few options on this motherboard. So we can plug it into pump fan right there, or we can plug it into CPU fan right there. So the CPU fan, that's where we're going to plug the actual fans that are attached to the radiator. If your motherboard doesn't have a pump header, then just plug it into a system fan header. And the way you plug this in, there's this little rail right on the connector, and then there's a matching rail on these headers. So you would just match that up with the 4 pins and just slide it in place just like that right there. Next up, we're gonna bring in this cable right here that came off of these fans on the side where the tubes are. And this cable, that's the fan connection. I'm gonna plug that into my CPU fan header. Plugs in the same exact way this pump did. All right, the next step, we're gonna go ahead and attach this. It is magnetic, and I wanna put it so that the cables are facing the back of the case to kind of hide them a little bit better. Or you can always put it like this to have easier access to these cables, or you can flip it, put it like this, and hide the cables sort of behind the RAM if you want to do it this way. Now I'm going to go ahead and feed all of these cables to the back. Let's go ahead and get these cables plugged in. First one we're going to plug in, I brought it back to the front, but on the bottom of the motherboard is this one. It says USB on it. That's going to go ahead and plug right in here where it says USB. Usually these headers are somewhere along the bottom or the side of the motherboard, and they'll usually say USB. But if you're still not sure, usually there's one corner pin missing, which matches up with this cable here. So just match up that missing pin and you're going to plug it in just like that. Now the next cable we're going to plug in, I brought these back to the front. This one comes with 2 cables attached just like this. This is a 3-pin ARGB connector with a little arrow on one of the pins. And that's what that one looks like. This one with the pins sticking out of it is the daisy chain. So I'll show you that in a second, but let's go ahead and plug this main one in. So you can separate these two cables and then send this one with the cap back to the back. So this plugs into your addressable RGB header on your motherboard. Not to be confused with the one up here that says JRGB, or on yours it might just say RGB or 12 volt. As you can see right above my finger, this one says plus 12V. So that's a 12 volt header. That's not where you want to plug this in. We're going to plug this in right here where it says JARGB on this motherboard. Yours might be called ARGB or something along those lines. And as you can see here, it says plus 5 volt. So all you got to do is match this arrow up with that plus 5 volt and then just plug it in just like that. Now here's that cable. Take the cap back off. And then here is that other cable that came off of the fan. That you're just going to daisy chain into this one. So match up the two arrows and you're just going to plug them in just like that. Now, if your case has an ARGB hub like this one does, the other option is to take that one and plug it into one of these sockets here. And usually this will be plugged into your motherboard or to your case with like a button on the front of the case or something where you can change all the lights all at the same time. Now there's a cable here with like this little switch on it. That's to control the RGB on this cooler, which you don't really need to do much with that. You can just leave it here or mount it somewhere inside of the case or whatever. Or you can separate them here. And then if your case comes with an LED button like this one, you can just plug those in together like that. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave that plugged in just the way that it was. Now the final cable that we haven't plugged in yet is this one here. This is a SATA power cable. So here's what it looks like up close. It has this little L shape right down here. The other side of this cable comes off of your power supply. So mine are right here. Here's a little close up of the power supply cable. And the way you plug that in, you just take both of these, plug it in just like that. As you can see, the installation is fairly simple. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.